Hi, Daniel. Here, Roman from CashNews.com in France. It's a real honor to have you with us. I just wanted to ask you a quick question about the selection of the participants. Knowing your illustrious career on the Indies, I wanted to know if you had any input in casting the competitors. Like, did you add any specific ideas, any specific guy that you absolutely wanted to have in this tournament?
No, they didn't really consult me as far as that goes. It was briefly mentioned. So I was first asked about it in April, but it was just kind of like a feeler out there as far as like, hey, this is what we're trying to accomplish. Would you like to be a part of it? And I said, absolutely. And then I didn't really find out any more information until like 2 weeks, not 2 weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, and they already had participants, they already had alternates, they already had all that.
Okay. Well, speaking of the actual competitors that are in this tournament this year, I wanted to know if you were familiar with Clément Petiot, our personal French hero. I don't know if you noticed, but on WWE social media, French fans have been going crazy about him, sending dozens, even hundreds of messages cheering for him. So I wanted to know if you had a little bit, if you knew a little bit of his background.
So, I only knew a little bit of his background because of this, doing research for it because I'm doing the commentating.
Yeah.
And, it's just, it's crazy. And I got to meet the guys a little bit 2 weeks ago and talk with them and all that kind of stuff. And so, I'm not super familiar with his background, but yeah, we saw all the stuff from the fans in France. And it's just, to me, that's heartwarming, right, for the guys to see that kind of support for those specific guys, right?
Yeah.
And like just seeing their support of their countrymen, people that they see as their guys, right? That's one of the awesome things about the tournament.
Absolutely, it's like a World Cup feeling. One last question for me. I just wanted to ask you, speaking about your knowledge about the independent wrestling, I wanted to know if you ever heard about Mike Bailey. I can basically summarize what happened to him in like 10 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Correct. He was labeled.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with a lot of the guys.
Yeah. Yeah, he was labeled as basically like the next big thing because he was not only was he a great high flyer, he was also a Taekwondo black belt. But unfortunately, he was working illegally, so he's basically banned from the U.S. for the next 5 years. I just wanted to know if you ever heard of him and if you want to see him in WWE someday, maybe in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Oh. Yeah, so I didn't realize that he had been banned from the United States. It's that's really hard because I've seen some of this stuff, and what I like is that he incorporates the really fast kicks.
Yeah.
We're gonna see that a lot. There's a guy from Hong Kong named Jason Lee, and
Mm-hmm.
at first I thought, okay, Akira Tozawa from Dragon Gate, he's going to be the fastest guy in the tournament. And then I saw Jason Lee, and I was like, I think this guy might have the fastest kicks in wrestling, but the only person who would have faster kicks as far as like the speed of the techniques, not necessarily the impact, but the speed, would be Mike Bailey.
Yeah.
And, but I had no idea that that he had been deported or that he wasn't allowed back in. I know that I had been deported from the UK in 2003 because I didn't have the proper work permit.
Oh.
And so that can, like, I know as an independent wrestler it's tough because you're just trying to get on these shows, and like sometimes things like that get skirted or because they're expensive or whatever, So I don't know if WWE has any interest in him, but my heart goes out to him because that's a hard position to be in.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, just wanted to thank you. It was great to have you with us. It was a real honor talking to you, so thank you again.
Yep, you're welcome.